I bring you greetings from the Secretariat of the Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, this 7th day of June 2021. As the disputed Federation of Nigeria continues to wobble in what now seems is terminal throes, and as the evidence of state failure continues to manifest all over the place, I'm sure some of us heard Ambassador John Campbell talking about it with his institute just last week. You know, we've come to where we have to make this special broadcast to speak to a specific situation that is brewing. We do not know how true it is, but it is so grave that we need to make this broadcast to address it. Only a few days ago, a leaked memo purportedly coming out from the Attorney General Malami, suggesting the suspension of the 1999 Constitution to the president. At a time there is an engagement being monitored globally happening around the 1999 Constitution that the Attorney General of Nigeria is suggesting to his principal, president, that it might be an option for them to suspend the Constitution in its entirety. Now, the reason we are making this broadcast is to explain the legal position to everybody so that they can know, in case anybody is thinking in that direction, so that they can know upfront exactly what will happen if anybody goes in that mad direction. We recall that from the point in December of 2020, the constitutional force majeure was proclaimed by the indigenous nationalities. The union dispute declared centered around the rejection of that constitution as basis of Nigeria on account of the fact that the peoples of Nigeria did not make that constitution. Now, that action, that constitutional force majeure proclamation, effectively terminated the life of that constitution. Whether anybody understands it now or not, it wouldn't matter. The only thing holding that constitution in place is the limited toleration, like a life support. The 1999 constitution is on life support now, and that life support is, on account of the limited toleration being extended to it by these same nationalities in this alliance, this majority of the South and Middle Belt holding hands that have repudiated the document and now insisting on its termination. But to avoid anarchy, we indicated in that proclamation that we were going to tolerate it only for the period of transition that must now be undertaken. Nigeria has no room to maneuver because of the fact that the nationalities, the constituent blocks, as we see in this, in the map here, the constituent blocks are retrieving their sovereignty that Nigeria had, hijacked, that the illicit federal government of Nigeria that emanated from the point of the collapse of the Federation of Nigeria in 1967, had hijacked, their sovereignties have been hijacked and corralled into the unitary Nigeria that is defined by that constitution. So where we are now is that action has taken out that constitution. The process going on now, which is the retrieval of sovereignty by all of those who were trapped here all these decades. But we are carrying on in a manner that will lock out anarchy. And so if in that very limited situation, that limited toleration of that constitution, somebody now thinks he can get ahead of everybody, we remember that just a day or two after the proclamation, the National Assembly, I think it was the Senate, that threw out something of amendment. They now went into an amendment process that in which the thematic issues for the amendment were lifted almost 100% from the constitutional grievances listed in that proclamation. Let those who can find the two documents compare. Check what the National Assembly said they are going to amend, and check the grievances listed there in that in the force majeure proclamation of December 16th. I'm making this connection so that we can see very clearly that the system, instead of responding to the issues raised, instead of calling a meeting of the owners of the enterprise as the international stakeholders had advised, the US, the EU, the UK, pointing Nigeria to the prescriptions of our proclamation, they are hedging around, trying to rush to the National Assembly to go and do amendments. Of course, it didn't take anything to knock that one out. The amendment gambit has failed, because we made it clear to everybody that the legislative mandate of the National Assembly does not extend to constitution making, period. And it didn't take anything for the stakeholders to see it. And everywhere they went to their so-called public hearing, that was what they were told. The governor in Asaba, the Okowa, the governor in Ondo, Akeredolu, Afe Babalola, all of those who should know, Akeoyebode, all of those who should know, I've told them that they can't, that there's nothing, that the contention of those who are rejecting the constitution is that we've not made any constitution, and that decree number 24 of 1999 cannot remain basis of the pretending we have a federation or a union at all. And so, having done all of this and having extended at this time that transitioning, we say let those in government house remain for the period we will need to work our way from this dead end to what could become the successor constitutional instrument. It is in that desperation to wangle and wobble that they've tried amendment. It hasn't worked. And then we now see this memo that has leaked to the public space, in which the Attorney General is advising the suspension of the Constitution. Let us get it very clear. Anybody who attempts, Nigeria is at an edge, as long as that Constitution is as that Nigeria defined by that Constitution is sitting at the very edge. The only reason it's still sitting there is because we are avoiding anarchy by extending limited toleration to the document at this time. If anybody attempts to go in that direction, the person will find out too late in the day that the sovereignties that now constitute that Nigeria are already being retrieved by the owners of the sovereignty. The Yoruba is already on the street telling the whole world that they are taking back their sovereignty, since the people who are running Nigeria, the promoters and the enforcers of the Nigeria of imposition are not willing to listen or come to discussion. The sovereignty of the constituent components is not dependent on anybody to agree with them or not agree with them. If anybody does anything to truncate what is left of the life of that dead constitution, is actually on life support. If anybody does anything along the lines of the suggestion of Malami in this situation, the person will wake up almost the same day or the next day to see that the owners of the sovereignty are not going to listen to any, so that we don't leave anybody in any kind of doubt in the matter. This is about what we will be witnessing. I think it might be easier to take it from here. In this formation, so that nobody is in doubt, these three blocks are rejecting this union as defined by this constitution. These three blocks are rejecting this union of Nigeria as defined by this constitution. They are saying it is a fraud against them at this time, since it is alleged that they submitted their sovereignties in the preamble to this constitution, that we the people have agreed to be in this union, indissoluble union, and therefore have made this constitution two false claims upon which this constitution stands. And the whole essence of this constitutional force majeure is to take everybody, peacefully from this situation of fraud to successor protocols through a process that will avoid anarchy. And if in the middle of that, somebody now does something that takes the document in another direction, as in, suspending it, nothing will be left of that union. And all these three blocks are not going to pay any attention to anything anybody is saying. To assume martial power, to assume where will the sovereignty fall from the sky, to keep the union, they will sit in Abuja to manage. That's not going to happen. These three will rather want to go in the direction already dictated by the situation. The Sharia belt already seceded from the secular union. So they are gone. These three already have their charters and their constitutions in process, only waiting to go to referendums. That's the only thing, and that's why if we go to the demands, the 5 points of demand in the proclamation of December 16th, 2020, we will see what these three blocks indicated as what should happen going forward. That there will be a two-stage process. For those talking about national conference and all such, the sidetracking of what should happen, we are saying that the owners of the sovereignty that has been hijacked and called Nigeria have organized themselves to take back their sovereignty, sequestered by that constitution. So if anybody suspends that constitution, it is just suspension of whatever is left of the union and the limited toleration of that constitution for the sake of peace, to avoid anarchy. So we just want to make that very clear. In the midst of all of that, we again saw the altercation with Twitter and are we being told now that nobody is actually, there's no thinking left in the circle of governance over Nigeria? The embarrassment coming to all of us from the I don't even have the word that can qualify the madness that have been displayed. As if we are a country of unthinking people. We are being disgraced by our own government. In a situation, you heard what international stakeholders are already saying. The investors that are already, gone, practically gone, you now come and stir up, except somebody wants to crash the union unceremoniously. So let us be clear in our minds what we are doing. We have something on the table. That force majeure is in. We've had the 90 days for the federal government, the 30 days for the states, the second tier of government. We're now with the populace and the diplomatic community, 120 days. We're almost at the half of it. We see what's going on in the eastern Nigeria. Yes, one can, there's nothing, nobody can justify the killing of soldiers and policemen. We've condemned it in every possible language, that Nnamdi Kanu and his ESN cannot go killing soldiers and policemen, and the government will fold its arms. Having said that, we've also seen the kind of operation going on, targeting entirely, the entire populace. The issues of genocide, the issues of crime against humanity will stand on the strength, on their own strength. People are going to look at what happened and what is being done in response. Going back to the content of the Twitter post that was taken down from the president of Nigeria concerning the operation. So let us tie all this together and begin to make up our mind whether we should not embrace the the structured process of engaging this matter, or we want to wait until it snaps and everybody begins to take care of themselves in whichever manner they can.